if you keep your expenses the same, your income's going to jump up and you could be more valuable in the marketplace.
Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and the wisdom of how they sold their first million.
How would you like to achieve the first million? And today we have Noah, the founder of Rosenfarb. So Noah, tell us, what are the 5 steps to achieve your first million?
So I have a list of 26 what I call actions for abundance that are available online. But maybe to give you a handful of them that I think would be real powerful for your audience. The first I would say is to invest in yourself and ensuring that you're getting education and training. It could be formal, it could be informal. It could be things as simple as, getting a nutritious meal versus grabbing fast food, but find ways that you can invest in yourself. You want me to keep going? I'll rattle them off.
Yes, keep going. It's step number 2. Okay, that's step number 1. Which one is the second one?
How about spending less than you make? I think no matter what your income is,
Brilliant.
You've got to find ways to spend less than you're earning. Because if you don't figure out that formula, it doesn't matter how much money you make. And I've seen people that make millions of dollars and yet they still don't have enough to save. And it's really shocking when you see it. Get back to people quickly is a rule that I find all successful people, or rather, I should say, all responsive people are successful. And so you may not naturally be responsive, but if you can figure out how to get back to people quickly, that's going to help accelerate you towards that million. Not everyone that's wealthy is responsive, but all responsive people get wealthy. I'd also say that you want to build your network. So whether it's, coming on a podcast like this and meeting somebody new and getting exposed to their audience, it could be something as simple as just talking to your neighbors, but figure out ways that you can start building your network so that you can leverage that to help other people, not only to help yourself, but to help others. And then another one would be to take intelligent risks. So if we don't take risks in our life, it's unlikely we're going to have the ability to accumulate a significant net worth. And so what you want to do is take calculated and measured risks that you can learn from. And so either they'll be successful risks that will pay off, or you may have failure in what you've attempted to do, but the value you get is the life lesson and the learning.
Yeah. So, I want to talk about one of the steps that you share with us, which is spending less than how much you make, right? So sometime in business, people, when they start the business, they start to develop the product and they invest a lot in the product, and they haven't even sold it yet. And then now they go out and trying to find funding. How do you see this approach, and how and can you expand a little bit more about on this?
Sure. Yeah, I think to your point of those of you that are listening that have your business idea and you're excited about it and you want to invest in that business idea, I've learned the hard way and unfortunately had to learn the message more than once that it's critical to sell your idea to others. And the sooner you could sell that idea to others with the lowest investment amount, the better off you're going to be. The best way to do that is through pre-sales. So Kickstarter has become a wonderful platform for people to sell physical products before they create them. But that's not the only way that you can get customers before your business is fully developed. You can ask for deposits from potential customers. You could ask people to buy a gift certificate to your future business. You can ask them if they might prepay and you'll deliver it in the future. No matter what your product or service is, figure out ways that you can sell it first and then go ahead and build it. Maybe run test advertising if you plan to use digital marketing. Go ahead and put up, your book cover. If you think you're going to get rich selling a book, put that book cover up on Facebook, promote it with some marketing dollars, and wait for people to see how many of them actually click on that link and end up ordering the book. And after they order, you could say, I'm sorry, the book's not available yet. We didn't run your credit card. But figure out how many people are willing to put that credit card information in. And if we're just in general focused on those of you that are looking to get your first million, maybe you're working you had a W-2 job, you're an employee somewhere. What you really want to figure out is how can you reduce your expenses to be below your income, or how can you accelerate your income so that you could be more valuable in the marketplace? And therefore, if you keep your expenses the same, your income's going to jump up. And, when I was younger, the kind of first thing I did with my wife, we got married young. We had the good privilege of meeting when we were teenagers, and she started her career as a school teacher, and I started my career in accounting. And because we wanted her to become a stay-at-home mom at some point in the future when we had kids, what we did is we tried to get to a point where we'd save 100% of her income. And it took us a couple of years. But by the time we were about 4 years into our career, we were able to just live off my income, save 100% of her income. And so when she left the workforce to become a homemaker, we didn't skip a beat.
So let's talk then about property, right? So this is a property. One out of five, 1 out of 6 people that attended to this broadcast, 5 Steps How to Make Your First Million, they're involved in property somehow. Do you think that property is a good vehicle to become a millionaire, and why?
So I invested in my first piece of investment real estate when I was 23 years old. My wife and I bought a 2-family home. We got paid $40 at the closing, so we did no money down. And we lived in half and we rented half. And now that it's 25 years later, we bought that right at the turn of the century. I've done over 50 acquisitions of properties valued at almost $1 billion. So I'm a real lover of real estate. At the peak, I had about 6,000 apartment units that I owned. That's down now to about 2,500 at the present time. But I believe that real estate is a great asset class. If you want, you could download a free ebook of mine at talkaboutre.com. If you want to learn how I've been investing in apartments to generate what I call infinite returns. And this is a strategy that maybe other people have talked about on your show, which is sometimes called BRRR, where you're buying, you're renovating, you're renting, and then you're refinancing. And through that process, oftentimes you're able to get all the money out that you put into the building, and you still own the building and you're still getting cash flow. And that's really one of my favorite hacks to becoming wealthy.
My first business was in property. We were doing something in London, rent to rent. We managed to sell over 5 million doing this. So I agree with you that property is one of the most easiest vehicles for people to become a millionaire. Now, regarding but sometimes when you get it wrong in property, it's expensive, yeah. But I always said that being an entrepreneur is a skill. The more you practice, the better. So, how you manage adversity? I think at the beginning you bought the house, you rent half, you were living in the other half. That was when you were very young, and then you start to do this deal. But so how you manage when something went wrong, and how you become adversity?
Yeah. So
how you get back in your feet again, because you see this lesson, if you are a property entrepreneur, somehow it's coming to you no matter what. So at some way in the journey you're gonna miscalculate or make a mistake in the due diligence, and wow, the hard lesson comes there, and is usually very expensive, right?
If you don't fail, you're probably not taking enough risk. Mm-hmm. And so, I think failure is inevitable. If you're getting up to bat, you're going to strike out. Hopefully you're hitting singles and doubles and maybe the occasional home run, but you're going to strike out also. And so one of the things I think is critical when you are starting out is to know what it is you're risking. And, our country in America, where I'm from, there is a great bankruptcy rule. So, even people that go bankrupt can become president in the United States of America. And so I think it's a result of the culture that we've established that says we want Americans to take risks. We want them to put it all on the line. Now, what happened for me as time went on, I decided I don't want to put it all on the line. I've had too many friends that lost it all and had to start from scratch. And one of the things that I promised to my wife in our relationship, because she's very conservative and she'd really prefer that we bury cans of cash in our backyard, so I'm out taking all these business risks. And actually just today, she asked me, I got a $100,000 kind of came out of nowhere. And she says, can we bury that in the backyard? I said, well, don't worry, honey, it's fine. And so I think you want to know what it is you're risking, the consequence of failure. And so as you build your net worth, once you get to that million, you want to start thinking about, okay, how do I protect my assets so that a failure in one area doesn't spill over into another area? And also what I like to say is I use an opportunity filter. So I'll look at a new opportunity, a risk that I'm taking. I want to measure what my return on investment is going to be. I also want to look at my return on time. How many hours might I have to invest in order to get the outcome I'm looking for? But what I also want to ensure is that failure will not result in me, losing my economic and financial security.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.